Hello students, welcome back to my channel. Let us continue learning networking concepts. In today's sessions, we are learning about network security. So what is a network security? As we all have learned in the previous sessions, what is a network? And we have come across the various nodes, devices, what is the different protocols, what are the different reference models and everything we have been learning in the previous sessions. So if at all we are using it, which we are in real life, what about the network security? How or what are the different kinds of problem which arises when we are using a network security, and how we can achieve it is what we will be learning in network security. All right. So the problems encountered under network security can be summarized into three kinds of loopholes. The very first one is a physical security holes. So what is the meaning of that? When individuals gain unauthorized physical access to a computer and tamper with files, hackers do it by guessing the passwords of various users and then gaining access to the network system. So we all are aware, or we have heard the word hackers. So hackers are the person who is not authorized in order to access those files, but yet he will go ahead and do it for some benefits. So that is nothing but your physical security holes. Now, what is a software security hole? Software security hole, when badly written program or privileged software are compromised into doing things that they should not be doing. So we know that every software or every authority or every person, whenever you have an access, maybe you are an employee or maybe you are a CEO, you have a different kinds of access. So in such situations, if that particular software is accessing other details which it is not supposed to do, then that is called as a software security hole. The last one is inconsistent usage holes. When a system administrator assembles a combination of a hardware and software such that the system is seriously flawed. We say that system is seriously flawed when there is a chance for anybody or anyone to come and take information without a proper authority. Okay, so here, as you can see, from a security point of view, which is nothing but if at all it is allowing me to access files without any authentication, it is allowing me to enter without any password, then now we will call it as a flaw. Okay, so it is because of the bad combination of the hardware and software. So these are the three kinds of network security problems which can arise. So let us see in such situations what are the different protection methods we can use. So as you can see, we have authorization, authentication, encrypted smart cards, biometric systems, and firewall. So, and there may be more, but as of now, we will be looking at only each one of them briefly. Let us first see what is authentication. Authorization. So authorization is something which we come across every day. So it determines whether the service provider has granted access to the web service to the requester. So basically, authorization confirms the service requester credentials. So what is this credential? Is nothing but your ID and passwords. So it determines if the service requester is nothing but user, okay, is entitled to perform the operations which can range from invoking the web service to executing a certain part of its functionality. Very good example is your Gmail. Whenever you are logging into your Gmail, it will ask your ID and password. So here Gmail is trying to find out, here you are the requester, user is a requester, whether this particular requester has registered and can I give him access is nothing but authorization. Okay, so authorization is performed by asking user's legal login ID. If the user is able to provide a legal ID, she is considered as an authorized user. All right, so if at all you have given your ID password to your friend, even when they are entering that ID and password, he is considered as an authorized user. It is left to you whether you want to share your password or not. Okay, so the security, the website, whichever you're trying to log in, they have this authorization method in order to provide a network security. It is your responsibility to think that whether you want to share it or not. Next comes as authentication. So it ensures that each entity involved in using a web service, the requester, okay, or the user we can call, the provider is nothing but, in our example, the user was you and provider was Gmail, and the broker, if there is one, is what it is actually claims to be. So authentication, Gmail does authentication to check whether you are the correct person. Authentication involves accepting credentials from the entity and validating them against the authority. So here, when I say authorization, we were talking about ID and password. Now, authentication is once ID and password is given, it is done at the end. Gmail, for example, Gmail will do this authentication. It will check its database that whether previously when you registered, have you given the same ID and password, and it will do the authentication. If it is matching, then you are authenticated. Okay. Authentication also termed as a password protection, as the authorized user is asked to provide a valid password, and if he or she is able to do this, he or she is considered to be authentic user. Okay. So the ID password, whichever you have registered with, it will be stored at the database of your Gmail, and it will cross-verify with that particular data, and it will decide whether you are an authenticated user or not. Next comes is encrypted smart cards. So password in a remote logging session generally pass over the network in the encrypted form. Any hacker can simply record it and can use it later maliciously to corrupt the data and files or harm anyone. Okay, so whatever the password you have been used, it is also prone to hacker can hack it. So what is the next level of security we can use is nothing but your encrypted smart cards. So to counter such threats, newer approaches are suggested, such as encrypted smart cards. An encrypted smart card is a handheld smart card, which means a user will have this particular card that can generate a token. So every time you use it, it will generate some token, for example, 2, 3, 4, 5. Every time the number will change. Okay, and you can use that number in order to log in. So encrypted handheld smart card that can generate a token, okay, that a computer system can recognize every time a new and different token is generated, which even though cracked or hacked cannot be used later. All right. So this particular handheld smart cards will be connected to the website of the user, or for example, Gmail itself, if I'm considering, or any bank website. So what happens is they are connected every time you try to log in, code will be generated here. And once again, if you try to log in, next time it will be a different code. So nobody will be able to crack that. See, only when you enter that particular code, only you will be able to log in. That is nothing but your encrypted smart cards. Next comes as biometric system. So they form the most secure level of authorization. In movies and all, you would have seen they will do their finger or their eyes and all, they will scan and they will do the authentication. That is a biometric system. So biometric system involves some unique aspects of a person's body, such as fingerprints, retinal patterns. So this is nothing but their eyes, okay, etc., to establish her identity. Now, this particular pattern will be stored in the database, and every time that person is trying to log in, it will match, and only when it is matching, only you will be given access. That is nothing but your biometric system. Next comes is your firewall. So this is the last one. So a system designed to prevent unauthorized access or from a private network is called as a firewall. So we all have heard about this firewall and we use it also in our systems, isn't it? So they can be implemented in both hardware and software or a combination of both. So firewall are frequently used to prevent unauthorized internet user from accessing private networks connected to the internet, especially intranet. Intranet is connections between the networks. All messages entering or leaving the intranet pass through the firewall, which examines each message and blocks those that do not meet the specified security criteria. So this is a connection or a security for the entire network. Okay, so there are different types of firewalls. First one is a packet filter. So it looks at each packet. So packet, we have learned already what is a packet. Okay, it's a data entering or leaving the network and accepts or rejects based on user-defined rules. It is fairly effective and transparent to users, but it is difficult to configure. In addition, it is susceptible to IP spoofing. So there is, it is a spoofing is a kind of a hacking. Okay, application gateway, it applies a security mechanism to specific applications such as FTP and telnet servers. So this is very effective and but can impose performance degradation. So application gateway, where we will have a gateway for the each of the applications, and we use these kind of protocols. Okay, so but little performance will be degrade, which means performance will reduce because of this. Circuit level gateway, it applies security mechanism when a connection is established. Once the connection has been made, packets can flow between the hosts without further checking. So during the circuit level gateway is nothing but whenever you are forming the connection itself, we will do the network checking, security checking. And once it is done, checking is done during the network setup, then there is no more further checking is going to happen. Proxy server, it intercepts all the messages entering the leaving the network. The proxy server effectively hides the true network address. So by hiding the true address of the network, we can avoid the hackers. All right. So proxy server is, it will give you, it will show your network address as a different address, with the help of which you will not be susceptible to hacking. So these are the different types of firewall technique. So that's all in today's session, students. We have learned about different network securities. Hope this session has been helpful. Thank you for watching. Keep learning.